And then throw that surprise in there.
Chris, your
Like
mic's on.
instead, I was like, yep, that was not expecting that.
Your mic's on. You ready? You ready? Tom, are you ready?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right, good evening. I want to call to order the meeting of the Common Council, Monday, April 2nd. If you could all please press your aye and confirm buttons. Oh, yeah.
12 are present, Your Honor.
All right. Obviously, have a quorum, and we'll proceed. If you'd all now please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and then remain standing for the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity to serve the people of Green Bay. You're the giver of all we possess, the source of our strength, and we thank you. This week we celebrate National Service Recognition Week. We're grateful for the many volunteers and service organizations here in Green Bay and throughout this country who give of their time and talents to better mankind. Help all of us to see each day as an invitation to work through you to give the people we serve hope and security in their future. Guide us with careful thought and attention that will lead our community to a place where the hungry are fed, the homeless are housed, and the poor have a pathway to prosperity, and each of us can be content and at peace. As always, we ask that you bless all the men and women of our armed services, especially those serving on the USS Green Bay. We ask this in your name. Amen. All right, with that, what are your wishes regarding the approval of the March 20th, 2018 meeting? We have a motion by Alderman Nicholson, second by Alderperson Dorff. Anything here you want to change, correct, delete? Seeing no lights, all in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The minutes of the March 20th meeting have been approved. And I'll look for a motion to approve the agenda. All right, there's a motion by Alderman Tom DeWine, second by Alderman Tom Slotnick for approval of the agenda. Anything you want to change here? Seeing no lights, all in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it, and the agenda before you has been approved.
Report by the mayor.
Just two things. As I mentioned, this is National Service Recognition Week, and we're going to be celebrating that day on April 5th, on Wednesday at 10 o'clock at the Botanical Gardens. It's just, I mean, you guys know the city. It's just these volunteers, these service organizations, we're going to hear from, the friends tonight. That's what makes this community work. So we recognize them, the county executive and myself have a proclamation. And so that's Wednesday. It was going to be tomorrow because of the snow. They moved it. Wednesday, April 4th at 10 a.m. And then secondly, congratulations to James and Maria Anderson, our co-director in the Parks Department, the birth of their daughter, Jovi Rose, right? It's pretty awesome. That's 5? That's really awesome. Okay. All right, clerk.
We're on to announcements.
Alderperson Dorff.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to share something that I got from the original Alder Dorff, which was my son Ned, in whose steps I am following. And this is to all the candidates in tomorrow's election, some words to live by if you're elected. This has been credited to Mother Teresa and also a composition originally by Kent Keith. People are sometimes unreasonable, irrational, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some unfaithful friends and some genuine enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and sincere, people may deceive you. Be honest and sincere anyway. What you spend years creating, others could destroy overnight. Create anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, some may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today will often be forgotten. Do good anyway. Give the best you have, and it will never be enough. Give your best anyway. In the final analysis, it is between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway. Thank you, and to Alder Slottick and Alder Moore, you will truly be missed. Thank you.
And thank you. Alderman Joe Moore?
Thanks, Your Honor. I just wanted to, didn't think I'd get emotional. We'll get that out of my system right away. Look, first, I just want to say it really would be impossible for me to recognize everybody in the community that has really unconditionally supported and prayed for me over the past 6 years. So if I try, I'm going to forget people, and then I'm going to feel bad about it. You know who you are. I hope that I've expressed gratitude to you in the past, and if I haven't, please know that I do appreciate each and every one of you. So at this time, I just want to take a moment to focus on some of the goings-on in District 6 the past few years, and then I do want to recognize the mayor's office, city staff, and the past 3 city councils that have supported these projects and ensured that they were seen through. As we know, sometimes there's some turmoil. Sometimes solutions are reached in a cattywampus way, but we really have accomplished many things. So in the past 6 years, DPW has spent countless hours in my district. From the streets that were resurfaced or reconstructed, including Preble, Farland, Harold, Henry, Eastman, Elizabeth, and the upcoming work on St. George and Smith, to the complete reconstruction project waiting in the wings, which is Webster Avenue. City staff has always gotten the job done, and this council has always supported the necessary bonding. When we consider the number of railroad crossings and alleys that were also repaired and resurfaced, as well as the lead pipe removal, I do believe that in the past few years, more DPW resources have been spent in District 6 than in any other. Creating TID 18, establishing a development plan for University Avenue, and eliminating that horrid triangle and replacing it with what is now a University Center are great high-profile victories for our planning and economic development staff. But that is just a portion of what they have done. The former Beach Road Liquor, a plague in our neighborhood, was converted into a well-managed convenience store. Tens of thousands of neighborhood enhancement funds have been invested into some of the oldest neighborhoods in the city. And we were able to retire an underperforming TID early. Our neighborhood division has also worked with the district to reestablish East Shore Drive and the Old North Neighborhood Associations, and recently establishing the Kennedy Park Association. Parks, Rec, and Forestry have been amazing in their work to eradicate the emerald ash borer, which is prevalent in our district. They've also worked so well with the Friends of Bay Beach that we've seen record revenues year over year and tremendous growth at the amusement park. The 4K school and upcoming construction in the wildlife sanctuary further show the commitment of all involved in creating a desirable place to live and play. City staff and this council have always been supportive of initiatives in my district. I cannot think of one single instance in 6 years that a project in my district has failed because of the actions or the lack thereof of the decision makers. I will not be sitting in this chair to see the completion of such things as the policy being drafted for the annual dike inspection and maintenance, the completion of Webster Avenue reconstruction, or the addition of a real beach at Bay Beach. However, many of you, my fellow council members, will. I want to thank you for all of your support in the past. I ask that you will continue to support the next representative for District 6. And good luck to both Kathy and Vanya in tomorrow's election. Regardless of the outcome, the district will be in good hands so long as the constituency holds them as accountable as they did me. As for my future, I will just say that I love this job very much. I believe I did it well. So for those reasons, I won't rule out a run at elected office in the future. I will take a few months to recharge. I will meet with you, Mayor, to discuss other opportunities to perhaps serve on some committees. At this point, anything and everything is on the table. So in closing, I would just like to say thank you to my wife and kids, who, let's face it, love me very much. They've shared me with the city and the district that I care very much about for the past 6 years. I'm very much looking forward to spending more time with them. So thank you, Shelby, Zach, Alyssa, and Lily. I'll be home in a couple hours. Thank you.
All right, very good. Thank you. Thanks for your service as well. We'll get to you and Mr. Slide just a little bit later. Alderman Tom DeWayne?
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. I just want to say, Mr. Slottick, it's been a lot of fun. You taught me a lot. You taught me integrity. I've been on here 12 years, and you still taught me a lot of things. You took my phone calls every time. Joe, talked many times. You always took my phone calls. Learned a lot, and it was a pleasure being with both of you. Thank you.
All right, and Alderman Stoyer?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll save the kudos for these two at the end. I have three. We have a hike on April 21st, the Mather Heights Neighborhood Association. We're going to have a hike on the West Side Trail, our beautiful 1.5 mile trail that doesn't connect to the west or to the east. I've met with Director Ditchite and also with the Village of Howard and Brown County, and we're talking about methodologies to hook up that trail up to the Mountain Bay Trail and eventually hopefully to the east. I think the goal is to get connectivity, and it's a quality of life issue. And anyway, we're going to have it on Saturday, April 21st, starting at 9 o'clock. We'll have information coming out, a press release of some sort. So that'll be probably from the Boys and Girls Club, and we'll head out. Some of us can do the 1.5 miles, maybe a 3 mile round trip, and some of us will walk all the way up to Howard. So that'd be about a 5 mile hike. So hopefully you can join us for that. I'd also like to mention a friend of mine, Eric Lefebvre. Steve, you may know him. He worked for Public Works. He just passed away 2 days ago. Great guy. He worked for the city for over 20 years. And he was a good friend of mine. I played softball 37 years ago when I moved to this city. He took me under his wing and was a great guy, and he will be sorely missed. Lastly, to Alder Slottick and Alder Moore, the class of 2012, I came in with both you gentlemen, and I got to admit that first term was something else. I mean, you talk about issues. I mean, sex offender, homelessness, gasification, Walmart. We had a whole bunch of stuff thrown on our plate right off the bat, and I will say that I am a better alderperson and a better man for knowing both you, Mr. Slottick, and you, Mr. Moore. And you will be missed, but hopefully we can stay in touch. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, Chris?
We're on to announcements, reappointments. We're on to appointments. Reappointment Zoning and Planning Board of Appeals, Gregory Babcock.
All right, there's a motion by Alderman Nicholson, second by Alderman Moore to approve the reappointment of Gregory Babcock. Discussion here. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. Thank you. Mr. Babcock has been reappointed to the Zoning and Planning Board of Appeal.
We're on to recognitions.
All right. So, we can't get emotional either. Alderman Slottick, Alderman Moore, look, you guys have been great, and Alderman Stoyer kind of went through a little bit of the baptism by fire, but that's going to continue. But just a token of our appreciation is we have a certificate of appreciation, so I'd kind of like you individually to join me up here so I can present this to you. So Alderman Moore, let's start with you. We'll take it in numerical order, not order of importance or anything. I gotta be careful here. Or alphabetical, just something that's not where it's favoritism. So Alderman Moore, this is a certificate of appreciation for service to the city of Green Bay. And it reads, whereas Joe Moore has diligently served the citizens of our community as a member of the Green Bay Common Council from April 2012 till April 2018. And whereas Joe Moore has represented his District 6 constituents by serving as chair of the Finance Committee, vice chair of the Personnel Committee, and a council member on the Redevelopment Authority. And whereas Joe Moore previously represented his District 6 constituents by serving as vice chair of the Park Committee and the council member on the INS, on the Improvement Service Committee. And whereas Joe Moore volunteered his time with the CP Telethon and the Green Bay Miracle League and many other organizations. And whereas Joe Moore is a member of the Board of Directors for Manna for Life Ministries, which provides needed resources to the community of Green Bay. And whereas it's fitting and proper that the Green Bay community honors Joe Moore for his dedicated service to the district and to the city of Green Bay. And now therefore I, James J. Schmidt, Mayor of the City of Green Bay, on behalf of the citizens of our community the Common Council, and city staff do hereby issue the certificate of appreciation to Joe Moore and extend our best wishes to him and all his future endeavors. Congrats.
Thank you.
It was good. Alderman Slottick. Tom? Yeah, we're gonna miss you. You, as I get in a little bit later, you kept your eye on our budgets for the taxpayer and a lot of other things, but fun having you on the council. And this is a certificate of appreciation for service to this city. And it reads, whereas Tom Slottick has diligently served the citizens of our community as a member of the Green Bay Common Council from April 12, 2012 to April of 2018. And whereas Tom Slottick has represented his District 12 constituents by serving on the Finance Committee, the Personnel Committee, and the aldermanic representation on the Water Commission. And whereas Tom Slottick previously represented his District 12 constituents by serving as the Vice Chair of the Finance Committee and the Council Member to the Traffic Commission. And whereas Tom Slottick dedicated his time to representing his District 12 constituents after retiring from a 35-year career in the paper manufacturing industry. And whereas Tom Slottick made it a priority to do what he could to keep taxes at a reasonable rate for the residents of Green Bay. And whereas it's fitting and proper that the Green Bay community honor Tom Slottick for his dedicated service to his district and the city of Green Bay. And now therefore I, James J. Schmidt, the mayor of the city of Green Bay, on behalf of the citizens of our community, the Common Council, and the city staff, do hereby issue the certificate of appreciation to Tom Slottick and extend our best wishes to him in all his future endeavors. Congrats, Tom.
You'll need to indulge me for just a couple minutes here. I have 3 statements of gratitude I'd like to make. First, to the constituents of mine in District 12, I appreciate the confidence they've shown to enable me to represent them for the last 6 years. Wonderful district. People are cordial, they're welcoming, they're very supportive people out there. Second, to the city staff. You run a very complicated and very difficult operation. And I've often said that being an elected official at the local level is one of those experiences that I don't think people can truly understand until you've done it. And you step into this and you find out just how complicated the city is, and the city staff was more than generous in teaching me how things got done, teaching me how the departments work. I really appreciate that. It enabled me to serve my constituents. Lastly, just a comment for my fellow elected officials in the room. I'm going to go back in time now. 4 years ago tomorrow, I suffered a ruptured brain aneurysm, and it knocked me flat for 3-4 months. And during that period of time, my fellow elected officials were extraordinarily supportive and caring and generous during that time, and patient, and I needed that then. And it was a very important component to my rehab, and I'll never forget it. I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you.
We're on to referral of petitions and communications. On page 1 of your packet, you have all petitions and communications received by the clerk's office by noon on Thursday. We will now accept any late communications you may have.
Let's begin with Alderperson Dorff.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have 2. The first is to determine the feasibility of setting a new starting time for City Council and to adjust the staff hours accordingly. And I'd like to refer this to personnel. And the second is to determine if there is a need for 2 meetings per month during the summer months for the purposes of setting summer hours for the staff, as well as setting the summer meetings for June, July, August, and September for City Council, also to personnel.
Okay. Thank you, Alderperson. Alderman Chris Weary.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is to Parks Committee. Request the Parks Department develop a minimum 20-year plan for Colburn Pool to maintain, repair, and enhance the existing pool, bathhouse, parking lot, and amenities. Current engineering plans are to be paid for from the existing $3.5 million previously borrowed. Park staff is to utilize up to $200,000 in the spring of 2018 for necessary repairs. The remaining funds shall be moved into a long-term Colburn Pool Repair and Enhancement Fund. After the 20-year plan is evaluated, any funds deemed in excess could be utilized to address other city pools' needs or reduce debt. Thank you.
Thank you. Chris, do you have any late communications?
I have one for improvement and service, application for a concrete sidewalk builder licensed by Lock Construction Company Incorporated.
All right, see no other lights, I'll entertain a motion to refer. All right, there's a motion by Alderman Moore, second by Alderperson Dorf to refer all petitions and communications. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, and those communications have been referred to the proper authority.
Reports for council action, report of the Plan Commission.
Move to approve.
All right, there's a motion by Alderman Tom Dewan, second by Alderman Mark Stoyer to approve the report of the Green Bay Plan Commission for the meeting held on March 26. Are there any items in this report you wish to handle separately? Hearing none, all in favor of that report, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. That report's been approved.
Report of the Public Arts Commission.
Move to approve.
All right, there's a motion by Alderman Tom Dewan, second by Alderman Bill Galvin to approve the report of the Green Bay Public Arts Commission for the meeting held on Wednesday, March 28th. Any items in this report you wish to handle separately? Hearing none, all in favor of that report, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. That report's been approved.
Report of the Traffic, Bicycle, and Pedestrian Commission.
Move to approve.
All right, there's a motion by Alderman Randy Scannell, second by Alderman Tom Dewane to approve the report of the Traffic, Bicycle, and Pedestrian Commission meeting. That was for the meeting held on Monday, March 19th. Any items in this report you wish to handle separately? Number 6. Okay, hearing none others, all in favor of the remainder of that report, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it. All items have been approved with the exception of item 6. What are your wishes regarding item 6? Motion to approve by Alderman Tom Slotnick, second by Alderperson Barb Dorf, Alderman Zima.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have to apologize. I did not get to attend this meeting either, but there are people who think something needs to be done in that area. It's a busy street. There's a lot of young children, and they think they need some kind of designation in there to do something for the safety of the children. We have devices in other similar situations. I was not there to be able to present it, so I'd like to refer it back.
All right, so there's a motion by Alderman Zima, second by Alderman Weary to refer this item back to the Traffic, Bicycle, and Pedestrian Commission meeting. Let's see, I think you guys didn't turn your lights off. Alderman Weary, do you want to? Alderman Galvin?
Thank you, Your Honor. I was at that Traffic Commission meeting, and it was pointed out that one block down, there's marked crosswalks with pedestrian crossing signs. It's a controlled intersection with traffic lights, with pedestrians having the ability to press a button to have the lights turn on for pedestrians to cross. In addition, the Green Bay Area Public School System is in the process of finishing up a Safe Routes to School study, which when it's completed, the city will be partnering with to implement those recommendations. And I think it would behoove us to wait until that time to see what the recommendations are. And then if it is deemed that there's a crosswalk that's needed there, then look at it at that time to approve it and support it. Thank you.
Okay, so you are opposed to referral?
Yes.
Okay. Did you want to speak again, Alderman Zima?
Yes, please.
Go ahead.
I have no problem with withholding the item. If there's a study being done that's going to be reflecting this area also, I'm perfectly happy to have it hold till that's completed. But I don't think it should be turned down. I think there are some people that would like to come and talk about it. So with the election here, it's been tough to find time.
I'm wondering if.
So I don't know if you want to, I'd be satisfied with
Hold this until the study's complete by the school district? Are you okay with that? Oh, so somebody amend this to. Somebody,
Make a motion to hold until the study's done, but
you're amending item 6 instead of deny to hold until the study is done by the Green Bay Public School District. So I will take a voice vote on that. All in favor of that amendment, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. So a motion to adopt is amended. By Alderman Slotnick, second by Alderman Scannell. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it, and that item 6 has been adopted as amended.
Report of the Finance Committee.
All right, there's a motion by Alderman Joe Moore, second by Alderman Randy Scannell, to approve the report of the Finance Committee, God bless you, for the meeting held on Tuesday, March 27th. Any items in this report you wish to handle separately?
Number 2.
Item 2? Okay, hearing none others, all in favor of the remainder of that report, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. Items 1 and 3 have been approved, and what are your wishes regarding item 2? Motion to approve by Alderman Scannell, seconded by Alderman Joe Moore. Alderman Vanderleest.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to have some discussion on the $5 million that they want bonding for the Bay Beach proposal. At committee, we first heard about it, they wanted $3 million at our Parks Committee. And then it went to $5 million at the next meeting. And then they said it's a $7 million, it's gonna be a $7 million project when it's, down the road a little bit farther. I look at the bonding, $5 million, this is a lot of money. And if we look at our bond, the amount that we're bonding, we're bonding more money this year than we were the previous year. And I understand that from what I heard at committee that on the $5 million that the Bay Beach Fund was just gonna pay the interest for the first 5 years, which would be $150,000 a year roughly interest, which comes to $750,000 for the 5-year period. Year 6 would be, according to the information I heard from, I think it was Dan, year 6, then we would also be paying the interest and the principal at that time. I feel that's a lot of money. I know it's coming out as a designated out of the Bay Beach, but I think that financially, we're handing over almost $900,000 just on the interest for the first 6-year period. The first 5-year period, interest-only payments. My thoughts is if Bay Beach can set aside $500,000 for the next 6 years, they would have $3 million right up without any bonding, and they have the money in hand. And during the time frame that they could be doing more discussion on other fundraising or whatever. And we're looking at a long term, this is still city bonding. And I think, if we're looking at all the projects that we got going that are being bonding for, you take the Webster Avenue corridor repair, that's a very pricey project. And I just feel that, we should maybe take another look at this before we approve the bonding for $5 million for this. And I feel that even as a designated fund, it's still city bonding, and it's going to increase our bond rate as far as the amount that we're borrowing. And it'll affect our bonding rating as far as the money that we do borrow down the road. If you look at all the projects that we got coming in the near future, we're talking public safety, building, other things. So my thoughts are that we leave the $5 million out of this bonding project for now, and we take another look and see if Bay Beach can't designate $500,000 out of the funds that they take in there for the next 6 years and create that $3 million amount. And I think it would be better for the Bay Beach overall with the amount of things that they're taking on.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, what else? You don't say anything else, Alderman Zima?
I'm just telling my colleague that if he wants to do something different, he has to make a motion.
Well, you've been here 2 years, yes. Would you like to, what is your motion? I want to know exactly what your motion is. I want to know exactly what his motion is.
Okay, my motion would be to, in other words, to
Stop.
have more discussion as far as, we would strike the $5 million off of this bonding issue, and that we would take the $500,000 for the next 6 years from the Bay Beach designated fund, set that aside, so we'd have $3 million, and then we would proceed from there and have the fundraising done for the other $2 million that we're looking for, and I'm sure that it can be raised.
All right, very good, thank
That's
you.
my motion.
So there's a motion by Alderman Vanderleest to strike the $5 million off the bonding. All right, and it's seconded by Alderman Zima. Okay, discussion on this? Alderperson Dorff?
Well, I want some clarification. So my understanding is that this is not This is bonding through other sources. This is not bonding that is being paid back through any property tax raise, or it's not in our debt service, so it's not going to go on anyone's taxes. Does it have a negative impact on our bond rating? Can anyone answer that
Do
question?
you want to comment on that? Diana?
It would go into our total overall outstanding debt. And as our Brad from Baird said, that we don't know where a tipping point is, whether or not it would negatively affect our bond rating. But we also have a measure that is our legal debt margin, and because this would not be general obligation, or would not be paid by the general levy, it would not affect that rating, or ratio.
Okay, thank you. I thought that's what I understood. I thought I understood correctly, so I would be opposed to this motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Zima?
Thank you, Your Honor. Alderman Vanderleest is just doing what any common-sense, practical person would recommend. People used to save money to do things. We know we have revenue, excess revenue coming in at Bay Beach. We know these things can be accomplished over time. Why would we bond and pay interest when we can legally save from the revenues and put them into a separate account to pay for it when the project is ready? I don't know that this is going to just be built that fast. This thing is being pushed through, of course, day before an election, and I don't know who put this on the desk here. Did anybody read this? It says it was a recommendation from the leadership Green Bay for bring back, well, let me see. It says here, given that there are health and safety concerns with blue algae appearing in the Green Bay, we do not advocate creating a swimming beach at Bay Beach. However, you can still bring back the beach with waterfront access. Let's redefine beach and the health and safety for our community put first. And this is, thank you for your efforts to provide our community access to the precious water resource of Green Bay. One day we'll pull together as a community. Our waters might just be clean enough not to pose a health risk. And this is the leadership Green Bay Bring Back the Beach team. This is a report from them on February 20th, 2018. Now, I know I've heard in the news here lately that I guess the water was swimmable, but this is something that's well, about 6 weeks old. This comes from the very people who want to promote a healthy beach here, and of course we're rushing ahead, bonding for something we don't even know if it's really going to be safe. And I did some research on the internet. There are places that they know that the water isn't so good, and they actually find a way to build some kind of swimming pool along with the beach, at the beach, and go ahead. We all know that there's algae that appears from time to time in our bay and all the way along up the peninsula here, and the dead fish that fall up onto the banks stink to the high heaven because of the nature of the algae in our water. And again, this is all kind of pushed rather too quickly. I think Mr. Vanderleest's motion is to slow this down. We have plenty of time to borrow later if we need to, at least cut some of this. If you want to put some in to build a boardwalk, that type of thing. But there's no reason to bond for all this right now, and we can have a savings account there. Why do we want, as Mr. Vanderleest says, why do we want to spend precious interest if we don't have to? So I support his motion, but I would listen to amendments to it. I'm not opposed to developing Bay Beach, to the contrary, but let's save for it and do it in a cautious, good way, not just run headlong into it. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Dave Nenny?
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to clarify a couple of things. The letter that is in here from Leadership Green Bay, we received at our park committee. And about a week later, there was another letter that came from them, or I think it was an email that came from them, that basically changed their position. They said that they were supportive of the project, but that they recommended, with the provision that there be monitoring of the water quality as time goes along. At our park committee, we also had an individual from Patrick Engineering, the city's consultant there, who we questioned about the water quality. And, I guess first I'd say that the quality in the bay is never going to be as good as on a swimming pool, for example. But basically, the report from Patrick Engineering said that yes, we are at a point where we could consider opening a beach again at Bay Beach with proper monitoring. And they reported that the water quality issues were no worse than at other Lake Michigan beaches. Our staff has looked at the monitoring requirements, and by the way, we just received a permit from the DNR to proceed with the project, but it is subject to submitting a proper monitoring plan for them to approve. When you look at the amount that the request increased, it was originally $3 million of bonding. The addition is for the parking lot and some restoration work at the Bay Beach Pavilion. Those two things were in the master plan that the council had approved. They were anticipated to be at a later phase, but with the new Ferris wheel going in, it does make sense to do some of this as soon as we can. Obviously, in order to generate revenue at Bay Beach, we have to have convenient parking, and on the busy, warm summer days right now, parking is really at a premium out there. So we're with the parking that has been added, we're doing something that was anticipated in the plan. We're doing it a little earlier than we had anticipated, but I think it does make sense to do it while these other improvements are being made at the beach. The beach this last year had about an $800,000 profit. So I think there's a potential to increase that in the future. I'd like to see the debt paid off as quickly as possible to avoid interest. But our staff has looked at this, and conservatively, they think that we can make the payments for principal and interest on this $5 million without any concerns. So all things considered, I am supportive of moving ahead with this at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Henning. Alderman Chris Weary.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My question is to Director Ditscheider Anderson. Is it realistic to expect next year, in 2019, we could get to these, or even this year, the parking lot improvements, the 400-foot pier and the beach? Would we start those or complete them? What do you expect?
Good. I think it is realistic that construction will be underway in 2019 for most of this, if not all of it.
And I don't know for yourself personally, but you're going to be working on some grants that are somewhat, are you working on that too, Mr. Mayor? Some grants?
We both are, but we both in Madison together. Dan, you want to talk to them about grants? No.
Sure. There are several grant opportunities that are out there as a potential for this project. I have talked to several entities. They all seem in favor of this being a good project, at least to apply for. The first grant that we would apply for is a DNR stewardship grant, which that application's due in May. And then there are several other ones with a fall application deadline.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And then I did have another question on a related topic. The study that was done was UW Milwaukee and the DNR in conjunction. They were together, and I think you had mentioned this to me after the meeting, and you wish you had mentioned it, but the person who signed off on our DNR permit is the same person who sits on the study committee, correct?
That's correct. The leading expert with the DNR is Donnelly Dinsmore, and she's the specialist with the DNR who deals with algae and issues like that in the bay. She was on the grant committee with the DNR approving the permit applications for the beach.
All right, so it would seem reasonable that if she suspected an issue, that they would have held up this permit. But I mean, I could be wrong on that, but everything we've done really at Bay Beach, I think we all admit, has turned to gold. Pretty much, we've been very lucky out there. So with this pier, that's what, $3 million for the pier, $2 million is for the parking lot, which I think we've all heard in all of our districts, parking is the issue. We need better parking. So at the very least, we need to listen to people on that, and I'm fine with moving ahead on this right now. As we heard, it's gonna pay itself off. It's not coming from any other funds, and the quicker we get this thing built, the more we're gonna generate more people and more revenue and pay it off. And then someday that money that's coming from Bay Beach can offset other park projects in the city. I think that's the long-term goal. We won't need it for Bay Beach anymore, but it can be used to maintain some of our pools. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't get to that. Alderman Tom Dwayne?
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. I'm just gonna rehash some of that's going on. But as far as the green and blue algae, we all know, you go to Sturgeon Bay, Algoma, Two Rivers. I've been there multiple times where the beach was closed. But there's a lot of things you can do on the beach. A lot of people go there just for the beach. It's gonna make a large attraction. If you're gonna do something like this, you don't piecework it. I've talked to a lot of people who are looking forward and wanted it done this year, and I said, well, it's not gonna happen, but it's gonna come forward. You look at the volleyball that's out there. You can't go forward without the parking lot. You go out there now. It affects everybody. Either you're at the wildlife sanctuary or you're at Bay Beach. You can't go to both because you don't want to lose that parking spot, and people don't want to walk across the street for some reason or another. I was even going to make a motion that we take away the ballpark across the street and put that into because I guarantee you with the parking lot we got with this new beach, with the attraction it's going to bring, you're still going to need more parking, and I wouldn't have a problem taking that baseball diamond down or that softball diamond and making that a parking lot, because you're gonna need it. You just can't piecework a project like this. Like I said, everywhere I go, when is this gonna happen? It's gonna bring a lot of money to Green Bay. So I gotta support it.
All right, thank you. Turn off your light, Tom. Alderman Joe Moore?
Thanks, Your Honor. I just would say that I'm against amending this in any way. I think we need to learn from our past. And Alderman Weir, you could say, look at Colburn Pool. We'll bring it up. We had a bid of $3.5 million. So we thought, hey, that's great, or $4.5 million. So we said, that's great. Raise $1 million. We'll bond $3.5 million, and we move forward. In the time frame that it took to raise that $1 million, that cost went to over $5 million. And then we had decisions to make. And here we are, 6 years later, and we're talking about waiting for 6 years of revenues out at the beach. We're at 6 years right now, looking at an $8 million pool from a $4.5 million 6 years ago. I can't be convinced that costs are going to go down. The other part of this is that there is an expiration date on these DNR permits. They don't go on forever. We have 3 years, and that would really mean that we would have to have all this construction underway probably in about 18 months. And that's not going to put a lot of money into that savings account. So I think we need to move forward right now. We've got the cost. We need to get shovels in the ground and get working. Unless somebody can convince me the cost is going to be lower in 6 years, I wouldn't want to amend not a single penny of this. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, I don't see any other lights. So the motion on the floor is to strike the $5 million for the Bay Beach Fund. If you could please use the board on this. Do you want to strike it?
Explain the.
A yes vote strikes the $5 million. The motion was by Alderman Vanderlee, seconded by Alderman Zima to strike the $5 million.
Thank you.
Your light was not lit. I can't tell if your light's lit.
It wasn't. And I called for the vote, and everybody voted. Do you want to vote? Okay. All right, clear the board. Alderman Zima on the motion.
Yes, well, you know, it's kind of a topsy-turvy world. We are told how finishing the project by adding $2.5 million to the bond issue would finish Colburn Pool that the citizens originally gave $1 million, pledged $1 million to, and I guess it's 800,000 now, and now suddenly it's just gonna be maintained. So we gotta get that 2.5 million out because it's gonna affect our bond rating. Really. I'm not so sure about that. I think we have a very good bond rating, whatever we did with this, one way or the other, it's not gonna change our bond rating. But it's very convenient. 2.5 million goes out on a project that many, many citizens have put countless and countless hours and fundraising efforts. But because of the obstructionist tactics of our administration, foot dragging till hell wouldn't have any more, the price has gone up over 5 years. Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Point of order, are we talking about?
I don't know where he's going. It's, look, we got 2.5 minutes left.
So out comes 2.5 million, and gee, the Bay Beach is now top priority. We talk about 3 million. A couple weeks later, we talk 5 million, and we got to borrow it all today. I guess I'm convinced that we could spend 3 million of it and get things going. So I would make an amendment to reduce that from 5 million to 3 million and use our $800,000 plus profits to pay for the rest of it when we know that it will be well spent. But again, I'm a little tired of the double talking that goes on. Somehow a project that has been in the eyes of the public for 5 years is now thrown down the toilet, and we have no problem all of a sudden adding 5 million. And we get a little palather about how it's coming out of a different fund, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's, those bonds, I believe, it says at the bottom that are guaranteed by the full faith and credit of all the property taxpayers of Green Bay. I would like that. Diana, could you
Every
clarify?
borrowing, TIF borrowing, yes, that's a true statement. It's backed by the
It's a true
city.
statement.
Right,
So
we got
what's
plenty of
the-
revenues to pay for it, but yes, that is a true statement.
Yeah, it's a true statement. So that's what's at the bottom of it. It's guaranteed by all the taxpayers of Green Bay, regardless of what happens.
True.
So, but you know, it's fancy that we can kind of talk this way, that isn't really true, because we're gonna have enough money. Well, I really feel that this has been treachery. The people of the west side, quite frankly, are disgusted. The feedback that I've been getting here, this has all been cooked up in the last week here. That Colburn Pool goes from 2.5 million, and the 3.5 million we've already bonded for, we're gonna use a million of that to put down debt. We're kissing off the Colburn Pool, and now it's full force ahead. Just the sky's the limit with Bay Beach. I think there's something wrong with that picture. But anyway, I'd make that motion to amend it from 5 million to 3 million and plan for the rest of it in the future. That would be my amendment.
All right. So we have an amendment offered. Is there a second on that? Okay. Any discussion? All right, please use the board on this. This is to reduce the bonding for Colburn, for Bay Beach by $2 million. Just a yes vote reduces the bonding. A no vote keeps it where it is. Right, go ahead. What is it?
My motion was that we take out the 5 million.
Right.
Are we gonna vote on that first?
No, Alderman Zima offered an amendment to reduce it by 2 million. So that's what's on the board right now. If this motion fails, we'll come back to yours. So a yes vote reduces the bonding by 2 million, and no vote keeps it where it is. Okay. So Alderman Nicholson, 3, so that fails on a vote of 9-3. So the motion on the floor right now is to reduce the bonding by $5 million. And that fails on a vote of 11-1. So item 2 is still on the floor. All right, there's a motion by Alderman Scannell, seconded by Alderman Bill Galvin to approve item 2. If you'd please use the board. And that passes on a vote of 11-1. Thank you for coming. Because we have some people here, can we take up the resolutions now so these guys can get going, or do you want to pound through the? All right. Okay, so there's a motion by Alderman Dwayne, second by Alderman Stoyer to suspend with the agenda to take up the resolutions at this time. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nay. Chris, it's 11
Through 20.
11 through 20. So, all right, there's a motion by Alderman Moore, seconded by Alderman Dwayne, to take up resolutions 11 through 20 under one roll call vote. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. Rules are suspended. Motion to adopt 11 through 20.
Motion to adopt.
By Alderman Tom Dwayne, second by Alderman Randy Scannell. You've used the board on these resolutions 11 through 20. This is the bonding, just broken down into legalese. All right. And those resolutions passed on a vote of 11-1. Thank you for coming.
Report of the Improvement and Service Committee, item number 4, held on March 6, 2018.
Okay, there's a motion by Alderman Dwayne, second by Alderman Scannell to approve the report of the Improvement and Service Committee for the meeting held on April 2nd. Discussion on this, right? Alderman Weary, that's the report.
Well, if it was gonna go right through. You know, I was gonna write a whole long thing on this, but I decided not to, and I threw something together here in the last minute, so. Well, let me talk
Wait,
here.
he's got a minute.
Hold on. You know, have we had our public battles on this issue? Yeah, you know, it's been crazy. I mean, we've seen what's come and gone through the years, you know. There's more to it behind the scenes, I think, than most people even know. This should have been done 4 years ago, and we'd have a new pool right now, but it's not. And that's the reality of it. You know, we have to play with the cards we're dealt. Would I love to fight this thing to the end? Yeah, you bet, but then you could end up with no pool. So, you know, compromise is a forgotten art. You know, both sides come out a little unhappy. We're not getting a new pool, but that pool is gonna stay there, and it's gonna stay there at least another 20 years, and the next generation, I hope, is gonna pick it up and keep it another 20 or 40. So, you know, I guess, is it perfect? You know, I have down written here, you know, hell no. You know, it's not perfect. No, there's a lot of people upset about it. But is it reasonable? Yes. A lot of people are very pleased. The pool that they grew up with, that they love, is gonna be there. And I've already talked with our parks directors. They have some great ideas with what to do with it. You know, it's gonna look a lot different. It's gonna still be the same pool, but they have some really great ideas on how to increase attendance and really make it a destination. And I trust them with that. So I want to thank the Friends of Colburn Pool. They're amazing. You know, I think the Crooks are here. You know, from day one, you know, their whole goal was to just to keep the pool from dying. And so kudos to them and their daughter Olivia. The donors, so loyal. You know, most of them stuck through this. You know, we had to go back to them a couple times. They got very frustrated, especially with yourself, Mr. Mayor, no offense, but, and I hope they still want to be involved in the project, because we have a lot of things that I think donations would pay for that our bonding couldn't. So there's still a lot of opportunities to keep this thing a great community project. I'll certainly stay involved with it. I want to thank the steadfast alder people. You know, majority of this council, I mean, it passed this council 7-5, so majority of this council was behind the new pool. Unfortunately, we needed 8. So, you know, someone told this to me, and I think it sums it up. While it's not the grand prize, it's certainly still a great prize. And I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks.
So Alderman, the proper motion though.
Somebody else can make that motion.
All right, that's fine. Okay, someone needs to.
Motion to deny the award for the Parks contract.
All right, so there's a motion by Alderman Moore, second by Alderman Scannell, to amend this to deny the award of the contract. All in favor of that amendment, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Just a motion to adopt as amended. Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Moore. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. That's been passed. Right, got it. Chris?
On both of them?
Okay, Chris. Yeah, Alderman Zaman, no.
Report of the Improvement and Service Committee.
So motion by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Moore to approve the report of the Improvement and Service Committee for the meeting held on March 28th. Any items in this report you wish to handle separately? See no lights. All in favor of that report, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it, and that report's been approved.
Report of the Park Committee.
Right, there's a motion by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderperson Dorff to approve the report of the Park Committee for their meeting held on Wednesday, March 28th. Are there any items in this report you wish to handle separately? Hearing none, all in favor of that report, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, that report's been approved.
Report of the Personnel Committee.
Motion by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Joe Moore to approve the report of the Personnel Committee for the meeting held on Tuesday, March 27th. Any items in this report you wish to handle separately? Hearing none, all in favor of that report, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it, that report's been approved.
Report of the Protection and Welfare Committee granting operator licenses.
There's a motion by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Galvin, to approve the report of the Protection and Welfare Committee, the one granting the operating licenses. Any names on this report you wish to handle separately, abstain from? Hearing none, all in favor of that report, please signify by saying aye. And those opposed, nays. The ayes have it, that report's been approved.
We're on to resolutions. You may, under suspension of the rules, adopt resolutions 21 through 26 together with one roll call vote.
Motion to suspend by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderperson Dorff to suspend the rules for that purpose. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it, the rules are suspended. Entertaining a motion to adopt 21 to 26 by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Mark Stoyer. Use the board on this. These are resolutions 21 through 26. All right, and those passed unanimously. Thank you.
Ordinances first reading and under suspension of the rules, advance ordinances 27 through 29 to a third reading.
Motion to suspend by Alderman Scannell. Second by Alderperson Dorff to suspend the rules for that purpose. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. And those opposed, nays. All right, take these on a voice vote. We've got ordinances first reading 27 through 29. Any discussion here? All in favor of, wait, do we have a motion second to advance this one? Okay. Okay. Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Dwayne. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it, and those have been advanced to the third reading.
Ordinances third reading, you may, under suspension of the rules, adopt ordinances 30 and 31 together with one roll call vote.
All right, so we'll just take them separate. Let's start with 30. What are your wishes regarding item 30? Motion to approve by Alderman Weary, second by Alderman Slotnick. Alderman Scannell?
Yes, Your Honor, it's come to my attention that there's a few problems with this ordinance that should be worked out, and instead of doing it on the council floor, I would just like to send this back to Protection and Welfare. So a motion to send it back. Thank you.
All right, so we have a motion by Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Moore to refer this item back to what? Protection and Welfare. Discussion. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. Item 30 has been referred back to P&W. What are your wishes regarding item 31? Motion to approve, Alderman Scannell, second by Alderman Weary. Use the board on this. This is item 31. I know everybody's going to tip off at 8:20. All right. Motion to adjourn by Alderman Moore, second by Alderman Slotnick. All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, nays. Ayes have it. We're adjourned.
Awesome.
Go Villanova.
I'd like to suspend the rules for a special meeting.
I talked to Chris and Joe earlier. I said, tip off at 8:20.
Yeah.
Championship game? I'm ordering pizza, man. Come on over. Oops.
Baseline jumper, same spot. 1 second left, switch to pole. Have 3 pointers. When they were 11 or 13 down at one time, I said, they'll come back.
I made a mistake watching on 16. I've been to 18. I've been to 18 open or somewhere inside. Over the interview. Yeah, I'm going next Friday. I'm going to be there next Friday. In Los